Hello, welcome again to Jackrabbit Journal. We've got basketball coming up with both head coaches. Big games for both the men and the women's teams on Wednesday. The women at Western Illinois and the men at home against IUPUI. And we'll talk about hoops coming up. There is also wrestling at home this week. In fact, bonus wrestling on Friday night. The Jackrabbits will host Purdue in the Division I National Dual Championship Series. The National Duels, which matches up Big Ten Conference teams against highly ranked programs from around the country. The marquee matchup in all this is number 2 Penn State at number 1 Oklahoma State, but the one we care about is the Jackrabbits and the Boilermakers.
It's a big time. It's just to be considered with these big schools is a huge deal, and that's not me. I'm not one of those guys that says, hey, we're this little guy. We are a big time program, and we're glad that we're included in this thing and fired up to host it.
Super exciting. It's the first time that the team's qualified for the national duel, so I mean that's always huge, and it adds another competition on our schedule, which is fun, another chance to get the fans out here and get them involved. And it's exciting. I think we have a good shot at beating up on Purdue, and just another match to get ready for. We're excited.
Well, Seth Gross is having a sensational season for the Jacks. He's 25-1 overall, has a 15-0 dual record, and he has earned more dual team points than any other Jackrabbit this season. He's been pinning everybody lately. Gross has won by fall in 8 of his last 11 matches. So Gross and the Jacks hosting Purdue this Friday. SDSU's 13-4 in duels. Purdue is 8-7 so far. So that is Friday, and then the Jacks at home on Sunday against North Dakota State to finish the Big 12 season. And then the Big 12 championships coming up in Tulsa in the first week of March. Well, basketball coming up next. Jackrabbit women with an outstanding performance at home, but then a loss on the road at IUPUI. And the men come up short in the 2 Dakota road games, including round 2 of the South Dakota Showdown in Vermilion.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, Service First Federal Credit Union, and JackrabbitCentral.com.
Welcome back. Well, like it or not, North Dakota State and South Dakota are the 2 best men's basketball teams in the Summit League right now, and the Jacks had them both on the road last week. Had a lead early at North Dakota State, but could not make enough shots after that, just 37% for the game. Missed a bunch of free throws too, just 15 out of 23 there. Mike Dom with 26 points, Reed Tellinghusen with 17 for the Jacks, but the Bison were very efficient and they win it by 17, and NDSU out-rebounds the Jacks by 7 in that game. And then the Coyotes out-rebound them by 10 on Saturday. And when we talk with Coach Otts in a few minutes, he has some facts on how those rebound numbers have been a big difference maker this season. Anyway, both offenses were on in this game in Vermilion. The Jacks make 13 threes, 8 of those by Tellinghusen, who goes off for 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 block shots. Mike Dom with a quiet 22, a lot of those late at the free throw line. And the Jacks, they made the switch from man-to-man to zone defense, come from 14 behind in the second half to take the lead with 3 minutes to play. But Matt Mooney hit 3 threes in a row in a 9-0 run by the Coyotes, and USD hangs on for a 91-89 win. As for the Jackrabbit women, 2 completely different games in the course of 4 days. They annihilate Oral Roberts at home on Wednesday. ORU's missing a couple of key players right now, but the Jacks left no doubt, clicking on both ends of the floor. Defense was phenomenal, giving up a season-low 35 points, and the offense was just as good. Clarissa Ober, 18 points and 15 rebounds, and the Jacks win this game by 47 points. But then the annual trip to Indianapolis that never seems to turn out very well. Actually, it went pretty good for the first 3 quarters. Jacks up by 7, heading into the 4th. But then it went haywire. Ober fouls out with almost 9 minutes left. She only played 10 minutes in the game and did not score. And the Jacks only score 7 points in the 4th quarter. They go scoreless over the final 6.5 minutes. IUPUI takes the lead with 3.5 minutes to play, and the Jags win 64-59. It's the 5th year in a row that IUPUI has beaten South Dakota State in Indianapolis. Well, AJ says it's been the same thing each time, and he is up next talking about that and how the Jacks have to shake that one off and hit the road for another huge test this week at Western Illinois. Well, the Jackrabbit women started last week with a very impressive win at home, but then went to IUPUI and lost there for the 5th year in a row. How does that happen? Here is AJ. All right, AJ, let's talk about the game here at home against Oral Roberts first. And either you guys were really good and they didn't play well, or a combination of both, but you guys were pretty locked in this game, weren't you?
Yeah, we did. We played incredibly well, shot the ball well, we defended about as well as we can. We were disruptive and I think got them out of rhythm early on, and we really established Ellie and Clarissa inside in particular right away. And I think maybe just kind of knocked them back, and we just didn't let up. And in their defense, they're just really banged up right now. They're going through as many injuries as anybody in the league, and they've got a couple potential starters that are missing right now. So it was just a tough combination of us being probably at our best and them probably missing a few important pieces.
Yeah, but your intensity was there for the entire game, it seemed like.
Yeah, and it was kind of everybody. It wasn't just that first group.
Yeah.
I thought our second group defensively maintained everything that we were working on. And we got just a lot of consistency. Carrie played well, but she's only 7'8". I mean, it's not like she was out there just hunting up shots, but when she got them, she was really efficient. And I think when our team really establishes something inside, we're a better team. It just seems to take pressure off of everybody. It helps us get our defense set, so there's not a lot of missed threes that are run-outs for the other team. And that's just such an important part for us to have those two, Clarissa and Ellie, play at a high level.
All right, and then that didn't happen at IUPUI. Talk about the game at IUPUI. They always play well at home against you guys, and you led by 7 going into the fourth quarter, and then what happened?
Well, it's like Groundhog Day there. It's funny, I think that was last week too, because it felt like it in Indianapolis. Every game that we've lost there, it's maybe 4 or 5 in a row, have been the same games where they've been very close. We've had some leads. Literally in the last 2 minutes or so, we just haven't made enough plays. And to the Jaguars' credit, they do. They defend really well and they make shots. Lawrence was, I think, perfect in the fourth quarter, maybe 4 or 4 against us, and really was a huge difference for them offensively. Gunn had a really nice game, and we didn't have an answer for her, but we just didn't in that game establish ourselves inside like we need to. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, our post group just never got going, but 2, I thought their pressure on the perimeter really rattled us, and we weren't able to get good angles to get the ball inside. And then when we did, they covered down, and we just didn't have enough kind of comfort with our inside-outside. So they did a great job with their defensive pressure and really didn't let us do the things that we need to be successful.
All right, Clarissa Ober plays 10 minutes in this game, fouled out early in the fourth quarter, and just she was taken out for the entire game, or was what happened in the first 3 quarters of this game, I guess?
Yeah, and 10 minutes might even be a stretch. Felt like she was in there for about 6, to be honest with you. Just bad fouls. And we love Clarissa, so I'm not here to be down on her or anything, but she's a senior. She knows the difference between a foul and not a foul, and she can't play that way. And when she does, it really impacts our game offensively and defensively. You see they shot almost 50% for the game. That's not all Clarissa, but she's one of, if not the best defensive player in our league. And when you have somebody like that not on the floor, it definitely changes things. Great rebounder, good offensive presence. It moves people around, so now Ellie's got different matchups. And so that particular thing of foul trouble really did hurt us in that game.
And you had a stretch the last 6 minutes where you didn't score in this game? That's almost unheard of, isn't it?
We did, and we had some good shots. Not great, but good shots, and we just didn't execute really well. It wasn't like we were throwing the ball over the gym and turned it over. I just thought their defense was better than our offense in that game. And, for us to be successful, we need balance inside-outside. I thought we were a little perimeter heavy in this game again with some jump shots and a lot of dribbling, not as much just ball movement, throwing the ball inside. And we'll get back to that here as we go forward this week. But the thing about it is that's what, if you're going to be in the hunt, that's what February and into March games are going to be like. They're going to be kind of possession-by-possession games, and you're going to have people step up and make plays in those possessions. And we didn't, and they did, and hopefully we'll learn from that and get a little bit more comfortable when it comes up again.
Is it kind of grind time right now? I mean, 4 months and 25 games and however many practices. And
yeah, I think today will put us at practice 78, somewhere in there on the year, and we hope to have quite a few more. So grind is a good word, but there's also should be a level of excitement right now. Yeah. This is where you're trying to put it all together at such an important time for your team, for your fans, and I do think it can be a grind because it is so repetitive, and people are battling injuries and all the different things that go into it. But you got to find an excitement and enthusiasm in it too, because it's such a neat opportunity to be a part of a conference championship race. I'm guessing of the 350 teams, there's maybe 50 in the country that can honestly say they're a part of that race right now. And so we need to make sure we see that as a good thing and be excited about it.
All right, yeah, well said. And you stay on the road at Western Illinois coming up this week, and That's the top 2 teams in the league right now.
Yeah, tied with USD and Western for 3 losses basically. And yeah, it'll be a big one. I know they'll be jacked up. They've worked hard to be at this point, and they continue to improve their program every year. I'm sure those players are hungry, very hungry to play on Wednesday, and we need to have that same hunger and drive too. It's going to be a good game. I really believe that, and we'll see what happens.
All right, TJ Otzelberger in next. How the zone brought him back in that game at USD, and getting statistical and explaining the ups and downs for the Jackrabbit men this season. Welcome back now to the Jackrabbit men. They took a loss at North Dakota State, did not play very well there, but came back Saturday and took South Dakota down to the final buzzer. Here is Coach Otz on those games and what it's going to take to make a run at the Summit League tournament. All right, Otz, you get on the road, taking on the top 2 teams in the Summit League in this recent road trip at North Dakota State and at South Dakota. Just your assessment of how you guys handled those 2 games.
Yeah, I think overall, when you look at the games we've been successful and the ones that we haven't, there's some consistent themes. And I think the number one is the rebounding margin. And we talked about going into NDSU and as well as USD that if you look in conference play in the 5 games that we've won, we've been plus 10, almost 11 in those games in the rebounding margin. The games we haven't been successful are closer to -4. It's a pretty telling stat. I mean, it's a swing of 15 rebounds. And our team's kind of developed and forged that identity when we've had success. Really felt like at NDSU on Wednesday, didn't do a great job in that department. And then certainly with the 15 offensive rebounds that the Coyotes had on Saturday, just have to be so perfect when you play on the road, especially against really good teams. And felt like that was something that we really didn't do a great job with. And then the second thing is we've taken our turnovers down quite a bit as the season started. But we've had some really key turnovers in both games that were really costly, especially in the game at USD on Saturday. So I think our team understands what we need to do. It's mid-February. It's go time now, so we need to get the job done. And I think our guys are still positive and upbeat, not happy about the outcome because we want to win those games. But at the same time, we know what the mistakes were. Hopefully we can correct them because still hopefully a lot of season left.
All right. And you didn't shoot it well at all at North Dakota State, but South Dakota was a different story. Both teams, the offenses were on there, and Reed Tellinghusen had a huge game. Got to be good for his confidence going forward.
Yeah, we talk so much about if you invest in the game, it'll pay you back. And Reed is in this gym nonstop getting extra shots in. And there's a reason why he knocked down 8 threes because it's you feel like the game almost owes you. When you shoot it, there's a stubbornness to you. Like, I deserve to make this shot. I've put the time in. And Reed's been a guy that's done that, and he's been rewarded. And hopefully that's a game that can springboard him because that offensive production from him is really huge for our team.
And you guys got down by 14 in the second half in Vermillion. How did you come back and take the lead?
I think, again, we shifted defensive strategies. Yeah. We started out, they scored the first 5 possessions of the half, and we were in man-to-man. Went to 1-3-1, had a stretch going. I think they were 3 of 18 with some turnovers. For a period there, they didn't score. We could have even created some more separation. But nonetheless, it got us, the 1-3-1 got us back in the game, gave us an opportunity to be there. There were still too many critical plays down the stretch, whether it was an offensive rebound, whether it was a turnover, just something that couldn't get us over the hump. And then credit to Mooney. I mean, goodness, 3 big threes. Those are putting on your big boy pants and knocking them down. And
were you guys losing him, or was he just hitting incredible shots?
Yeah, the first one against the 1-3-1, Michael Orris was there, kind of overran a closeout a little bit. And he made a tough shot. Reed kind of was there on a late contest. Certainly not an easy one. That second one was a heat check. I mean, he was way back beyond the line. There's no scouting report that's one of those shots that it's just he's feeling it. And then, the third one, he just came off the dribble like he was going to attack Reed and pulled up again from deep. So, I'd like to prevent him from getting that first one because then you could just see that swagger and that confidence. And he wanted the ball, and it was crunch time, and he stepped up and made the shots.
All right. Credit to them. So you got 3 games left in the regular season now. How are you feeling about these last 3? If you get 2, do you feel good, or how do you approach these last games of the regular season?
Yeah, all year long we've tried to just really focus on what we have in front of us day to day and try to get better. And I feel like the team that we've become, we're a lot better than the team we were a month ago, a lot better than we were 2 or 3 months ago. But we've got some work to still do. I think we're closer. There's a big difference between a good effort, a winning effort, and a championship effort. Right now, I think we're giving a good effort. I don't think it's for a lack of effort and energy. But now to give a winning effort, it's value the ball, get that extra energy on a block out, not allowing your opponents to get the 50-50 balls. And then hopefully you go one step further, and championship effort is just, eliminating all those mistakes, making shots, making free throws, getting stops, keeping them off the glass and turnovers. And we're still, you hate to say you're in mid-February, still working up, but our guys know what they need to do. Now it's up to us to do the job.
All right. Game here Wednesday night, and you just do all those things, win that rebound battle, get the effort, see what happens, huh?
Yeah, I feel like it. I mean, for our guys, it's been consistent. I mean, the one we lost down at IUPUI by 2 in overtime. Yep. We had multiple chances to win that game. It was a great game, but it was also a game where we had some of those plays. So what I've seen from our guys the second time around with some teams is we've kind of zeroed in on what we need to do to be successful, and hopefully we can take what happened down there in Indy and use that to our advantage and grow from it and be stronger and win the rebounding battle, value the ball, and play to win here on Wednesday.
Well, we have Michael Orris in the Rapid Fire interview next. From sitter to starter this season, 10 questions with the Jackrabbit point guard coming up next.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, Service First Federal Credit Union, and JackrabbitCentral.com.
Welcome back. Jackrabbit senior Michael Orris in the Rapid Fire interview this week. 10 quick questions with Midco Sports Network's David Brown.
So the first question is, you got your communications degree from Northern Illinois before coming here. So what job do you want to have after? Do you want to have my job, our job, TV, newspaper? What do you want to do with communications?
Well, I want to play basketball as long as I can. Obviously, that's the goal. That's always been my dream. But after that, I definitely want to get into coaching. I did communications because I like the interpersonal relationship aspect of it, and family dynamics and that sort of things. And I'm really big on personal relationships. And I think being a people person is invaluable. And after I'm done playing, I'd really like to coach because I feel like I should be a young mentor, for a mentor for young men someday.
Very cool. Now, people didn't see it because you walked in with a bunch of Steelers gear on, but you're from Chicago, so are you not a Chicago fan?
No,
or are you just
not
a Steelers
at all.
fan?
No, so my parents were both born and raised in Pittsburgh. All my family lives in Pittsburgh. I came out of the womb with a terrible towel, so there was no option for anything else, and I couldn't be happier.
So Steelers, Pirates.
I don't like baseball at all. I don't follow any team, so I don't cheer for anybody.
Penguins for hockey?
Not really. It's just the Steelers. Steelers through and through.
Okay, so obviously Pittsburgh doesn't have a pro basketball team, so who's your pro basketball team?
Pro basketball team, I like the Bulls. Bulls, again, I like more college basketball than I do the pros, and I'm more of, when it comes to the pros, different players. But if I had to pick a team, I'd say the Bulls.
How many tattoos do you have?
Quite a few. Probably 12 or 15, I would have to guess.
You don't know the exact number?
I don't know the exact number. I used to, but I forgot. I don't know. It's too many to count now.
Which one of those tats means the most to you?
Definitely my brother. I have a tattoo on my forearm, and it's in his memory. Personal things between us that I put on there, and that's definitely the one.
Do you have a pregame ritual or superstition?
No superstitions. I'm not a superstitious guy whatsoever, but pregame ritual, I listen to gospel music before every single game, and then when I get on the court, I like to sing a lot. I don't know why, but I'm always singing and joking around with the guys and just having fun, but I'd say that's part of my ritual. And then when I get on the court, I kneel down, I say a little prayer and kiss my tattoo of my brother, and then give a little point to the sky for him.
Very cool. Why are you number 50? Because you've had a bunch of different numbers throughout college.
have.
Why are you number 50 here?
So I did number 50 actually because it's funny. In the prophetic sense of the world of religion and Christianity, they say that in the 49th and 50th year that 2017 was going to be the year of Jubilee. So I picked 50 because of that.
That's very specific and very different. A lot of guys just are like, I get the number whichever one they give me.
Yep,
but you wanted 50 and you got 50.
I did, yeah.
All right, so you started off your career at Kansas State. So what is your favorite part of Manhattan, Kansas?
Favorite part of Manhattan, Kansas? Oh, man. I don't know. There's a donut shop there that is really famous that has like all sorts of different donuts, and that was a pretty cool place. But I'd say more so the people and the relationships I built there is my favorite part of Manhattan, Kansas.
Whenever I ask these guys who have transferred, every time they mention their old stomping grounds, it's always a donut shop or a restaurant or something
Exactly.
like that. So.
That's a college kid. You always got to be hungry and eating.
Okay, so switching on to your next destination, Northern Illinois. What was your favorite part of DeKalb, Illinois?
Favorite part was Lukalos. It's this Greek restaurant, unbelievable, had gyros and all the stuff that I love to eat, and I was there all the time.
Continuing the tradition of naming restaurants. What is either your favorite or your least favorite nickname?
Ooh. So my nickname that everybody calls me is White Chocolate. I've had that nickname since I was in high school. It hasn't stuck as much here because the guys don't know me like that as it was in my childhood and at Northern and everywhere else. But a least favorite nickname, I don't know if I have one. I've never had too many nicknames other than that, to be honest.
So you stole White Chocolate from Jason Williams?
Yeah.
You watched Jason
well,
Williams
that's
grow
why I
up?
was 55 the other year, because he's my favorite player of all time.
All right, last one. Horse contest between you and your teammates. Who wins?
Wow. Not me involved?
No, you're involved.
I'm involved?
Yeah, you and everyone else.
Who wins? God. Well, it just depends. If we're doing trick shot, it might be a different guy. But if we're doing just regular shots, it'd have to be AJ or Mike. Hands down.
Not going to say yourself?
No.
Okay, if there were trick shots involved.
Maybe if there's trick shots, I could get it.
All right, thanks for playing.
All right, thanks, Mike. Thanks, David. Again, Jackrabbit men at home against IUPUI Wednesday night. Jacks can pretty much solidify a spot at the Summit League tournament with a win there. The women at Western Illinois on Wednesday. The winner of that one takes over first place in the league. Wrestling on Friday against Purdue in the national duels, and then both basketball teams on the road on Saturday at Fort Wayne.